Roman Reigns retained the WWE Undisputed Championship.
It's our company mission to put smiles on people's faces, and that's what we're trying to do in this time when I think people really need to have those smiles. It might not be the perfect product, but it is the product, and it is what it is right now, and we're trying to put those smiles on your face. So
Give me my smile. Where's my damn smile?
All right, Cody, here's what's happening for Mania. Ref is going to ring the bell. Roman spears you and gets the 3 count. You're going to break the record for the shortest match in WWE history. I mean, that's a WrestleMania moment right there. Congratulations, man. The Roman's going to give you a mic and scream at you to acknowledge him. At this point, you're going to be crying and in the fetal position like a pussy and acknowledge him. Remember to make Roman look strong, because we're going to be pushing him to break Sammartino's streak. Now, Roman's going to take a fat fucking shit in the middle of the ring, and he's going to shove it in your mouth as a way of dominance. You're going to have to eat Roman's shit. Cody, look, I know it might seem that your push is over, but trust me, with this loss, you'll be more over than ever. The fans will rally behind you, and you will be their lovable loser, which is why I partnered up with Little Rock, Arkansas Wrestling Academy, where you will be in a program with their top draw at the St. John High School gym.
We love to do day in and day out to entertain you. Thank you. We love to do day in and day out to entertain you. You.
Hello everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're at right now. So Triple H, this is a genuine response from me. Let me ask you something. How? How is this possible? How are you finally free from making promises to your father-in-law Vince McMahon that Roman Disgrace will remain champion until at least WrestleMania 39? According to Wrestling News Now, that is. And yet you still managed to screw it up in said event. Was that the plan all along? Was that it? There's this video I watched from Planet Productions, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, where he states that he saw a report that Vince McMahon, of all people, wanted Cody to win and become the new undisputed champion. But you ultimately went along with Roman retaining. I mean, it's bad enough that Cody lost and Roman's still champion, but if that report is true, then that is even worse. Is it because the story doesn't end there? Because you sound like you're making excuses for the poor booking. Or is it because you're secretly desperate? Because if that scenario is true, then in your desperation, you have allowed all this money and the fear of losing it to twist your mind until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy. Speaking of destroy, is it actually because Cody mocked you by destroying a throne? Because if that is true, then good lord, you're petty as hell. I just want you to know that you had the chance to do something about it, but didn't. That was probably your last shot, and you blew it. Now that WWE is bought by Endeavor and merged with UFC, who knows what's gonna happen at this point. Anyways, anyone else who's watching this video and who has watched my previous videos, remember when I said I expected this year's WrestleMania to be mediocre at best and an absolute trash fire at worst? Well, to my expectations, I was absolutely right. Sorta. There were at least a few things at this year's WrestleMania that weren't mediocre or awful. 1. Seth Rollins finally getting a W over Logan Paul after taking the L for 3 past WrestleManias in a row. 2. The Hell in a Cell match between Edge and the Demon Finn Balor was pretty badass. And 3. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn finally ending the Usos' reign of terror as the new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. That's 3 whole points earned by WrestleMania 39, compared to the million other points they lost with what it destroyed. And you might say something like, it's just a show, dude, calm down, or it's only fake. The wrestlers are just actors. Their characters aren't real. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a show, and that none of the characters that wrestlers portray are real. But that doesn't change the fact that these characters feel real. This show feels real. And these characters have relatable personalities that people and fans are capable of feeling emotionally attached to them. I grew up with World Wrestling Entertainment. It was my all-time favorite wrestling promotion ever. John Cena was the first wrestler who made me fall in love with the brand. He's loyal, he's respectful, and he never gives up. He's the reason I started watching WWE in the first place. The peak of this once great wrestling promotion, in my opinion though, was on April 2019 and ended at SummerSlam 2020, when Bray Wyatt started teasing his return and introduced my favorite version of himself, the dark masked persona known as The Fiend. A character who was here to protect him and his Fireflies at the Firefly Funhouse and avenge Wyatt's failures by facing off his past foes. Which in the process made Bray Wyatt my new favorite wrestler in the company. Yes, WWE screwed up his new character out of Hell in a Cell 2019 and Super Showdown 2020, but it wasn't damaged beyond repair, at least not to me. They fixed their screw-ups with the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania 36, which still remains as my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. And I was excited to see what else would be in store for Bray's bright future with the company. Only for Roman Reigns to come along after returning from his hiatus and not single-handedly massacre every single thing about him and other wrestlers who were endearing to millions of people. How did WWE do that? By booking Roman to pin Strowman for the Universal title after The Fiend held it for only a week. And after that, I knew for a fact it was downhill for WWE from here. As expected, neither Vince nor Hunter have attempted to correct their mistakes ever since the bloodline became the cash cows of the company, endlessly shoved down our throats, turning wrestlers we loved into jokes just to make them look good, and milking said heels for profits until they finally decide to mercifully discard them, which I don't believe is happening for a very long time. At least WWE tried to fix their screw-ups with Bray Wyatt by having him win the Universal Championship from Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel 2019 and having him beat John Cena at WrestleMania 36. But at WrestleMania 39, they didn't even care to try. They fucked it up. They fucked it all with no regrets. I felt my world shake like an earthquake. And I'm madly in anger with this company after they dropped the ball big time. And before you say it, yes, I'm referencing some of the lyrics from Metallica's song Saint Anger, because that's how I feel about the current state of this collapsing company. If you spend your money on the event, I would like to apologize to you on behalf of everyone backstage in WWE. If you even care about the value of money, then I would kindly advise you not to spend your money on tickets to WWE pay-per-views going forward. Because not only will you be wasting your money on something so mediocre, but you will also be ripped off in the process. Now more than ever, Wrestling fans deserve better. You deserve better. Thanks for listening, everyone. This is probably the most painful video I have made talking about WWE yet. Furthermore, this will probably be my final video on WWE for a while, or perhaps ever. I'm just so done with the garbage decisions made in the company, and I'm ready to move on from WWE for now. And I'm seriously considering skipping watching Backlash this year. The only time I'll watch anything from WWE again is if Bray Wyatt appears. He's basically the one loose thread this company is barely hanging on to at this point. That's only my opinion. As much as I love his character, I have no hope for him going forward, since Vince McMahon is definitely taking back control of WWE, because why the hell not? Of course, I'm gonna be pissed when Bray Wyatt is booked poorly in his matches, if he loses. But what's the point of wasting my breath in a video when I could just type my thoughts instead? Maybe I'll make a praise video about Bray Wyatt one day. But for now, I must resume my main project, We Deserved Better from the Loud House movie. In case there's anyone wondering when that video will be released, my simple response to that is, it'll be ready when it's ready. I want it to be an improvement over the original, which is already pretty corny to say the least. And I have a ton of criticisms that I want to address concerning that movie. For now, I must get back to work if I have any hope of finishing it. Until next time, this is Briox Studios, and I'm out. Take care, everyone.